Hey everyone, we are here with Noelle George today. Noelle, can you tell me, a little bit about yourself? Where are you at this moment? Your place in the secular universe? What do you have for me?
Sure, I'd be happy to. My name is Noelle George, and I am the Executive Director at Foundation Beyond Belief, which is a 501c3 charity organization that does things similar to RFR, but different. And I'm physically here in Houston, Texas. FBB is based kind of all over in the U.S. We have staff in a lot of various different places, but that's what I do, and that's who I am.
Beautiful. And how long have you been a supporter of recovering from religion?
Oh, ever since I heard about it, I can't even remember when that was. When I first heard about recovering from religion, I was like, who is the genius who thought that up? Actually, I think it was Daryl who I heard from it. So I was like, you're a genius. I bow down to you. Um, so, when I found out that Daryl Ray had started this organization for people leaving religion, I just thought, how great is that? Um, an organization that supports people in their process as they leave, because it's so needed. It's so needed.
It really is. That's certainly the evidence that we've been finding through the years. So would you mind sharing a little bit about your journey out of religion, if you had one?
Yeah, I actually have a journey into and out of religion. I was raised not going to church, and we never really discussed religion. And then when I was in middle school, there was a friend of mine who was a little bit older than me, and I kind of looked up to her. And she said something about Jesus. And I said, "Who's Jesus?" And she was shocked. She was horrified. I thought he was her pen pal in another state, which I guess kind of dates me a little bit. I don't know. But I said, "Who's Jesus?" And she said, "You don't know Jesus. You need to know Jesus. It's very important." And she said, "You're going to go to hell if you don't know Jesus." And I didn't know what hell was, but it sounded bad. And so I went home and I talked to my parents and I said, um, you know, my friend says this, my friend's talking about Jesus and God, and we need to, do something about this. And so their response, instead of kind of talking to us about it, and they weren't really religious, but they decided to take us to church. So we went to a Methodist church and I got really into it for a while. I got baptized and confirmed and went to church camp and went to church dances and did the things and did the events and felt horrible when I had sex with my boyfriend because I was going to hell, and really tried to follow it. And then I was about 13 when I got into it, and about 19 when I came out as bisexual. And the people who had come and accepted me and loved me no matter what, they didn't really feel that way anymore after I let them know that I was bisexual. And so I really needed the church community at the time. I didn't have a good family dynamic, and I didn't have a lot of friends, and it provided something for me that I needed. But then as I got older and I kind of was finding myself and coming out and finding groups of friends that I fit in with, it kind of fell away, and I was able to question, do I really need this anymore, or do I really believe this? And the answer was no. So that's how I came out of religion and into religion and out of religion.
The in and out journey. Excellent. Well, you talked a little bit just now about needing kind of community. Would RFR have been a help to you if it had been around at that time? Would you have taken advantage of any of the programs that we have?
Yeah, I'm sure that I would have. I suffer from depression and anxiety, and I have since I was 16. And so the Secular Therapist Project would have been a really important resource for me,
Mm.
especially around the time that I was 19 and 20, dealing with those feelings of being attracted to women, and how that, was a conflict for me, and how people were saying like that's a sin and you can't do that. Even in a progressive-ish community like the Methodist community, there was still, this was the early 90s. Ellen had just come out. I think Ellen came out in 1995. And so this was right after that. And so dating myself again. And so, really, I think that the Secular Therapist Project would have been a really important resource for me, but also the community groups, because I did find friends, but being able to talk to other people about, you know, um, the questions that I had about God, and not having those just answered by people in the religious community, I think would have made my journey a little bit easier. But my journey wasn't super traumatic, because nobody really, how some people, when they leave religion, people try to make them stay or whatever. There's a lot of guilt and things. And even going into religion and coming out, there was nothing like that for me. So I like to say that leaving religion is like leaving an abusive relationship sometimes, um, because it can be traumatic, but it really wasn't so for me. So I think I definitely could have used those resources, but someone in that situation who it's more traumatic for could really use those resources.
Yeah, the need is amplified. Absolutely. Well, so as you know, we are a completely volunteer-run organization. Program directors, ED, the board, the hotline agents, everyone who's involved with us is a volunteer. As folks begin to plan out their charitable giving, why would you encourage them to give to Recovering from Religion?
Right. Well, to do that, I need to talk about Foundation Beyond Belief for a minute. So I'm going to do a little self-promotion, but we vet and select 5 charities a quarter for our monthly givers. We aggregate those donations, and then we give grants to those charities. And so we have quite a lot of experience vetting and selecting charities. And while we haven't put Recovering from Religion through that process, I feel reasonably confident saying an organization that's all volunteer like that is using your money responsibly. They're using your money effectively, and we know that Recovering from Religion has these great programs that your money is going to help run those programs. And there are a lot of, as a charity director as well, there are a lot of behind the scenes expenses, even in an all volunteer run organization, that you need just to be a 501c3. You need website hosting costs. You have, government fees and things like that to stay up to date on your state registrations. There are a lot of things that cost money to run an organization like this, even with an all volunteer organization. So I just want to say that it's really important that organizations like Recovering from Religion have your support, and that you give what you can to organizations that you believe in.
Absolutely. Well, and thank you to the Foundation Beyond Belief for doing that. That vetting is so important, and the work that you guys do is so important as well.
Thank you.
Well, do you have any words of encouragement or advice? Say, what you were going through in the late 90s there, your journey in and out of religion. Do you have any encouragement or advice to give to anybody who's currently on a journey out of religion?
I think that what I would say is don't give up. Don't give up hope. Reach out. Find your people. They are out there. If you're losing your community because you're leaving religion, there are people out there that want to be part of your community. Even if you don't find them right away, they are there. It's hard to find your people, but continued searching and just continue to reach out. Continue to use the resources that are available to you, and it will get better. I'm going to take a line from the It Gets Better project. It does get better. I understand that it's hard. It wasn't as hard for me as it is for some people, but there are resources out there for you, and there are people that care about you and that want to help you. And so just keep trying until you find what you need.
Yeah. Well, there it is, everybody. Noelle, George, thank you for coming on and giving us your time today, and giving RFR some very much needed support. Yeah, that about wraps us up. Thank you again so much.
Okay, thank you. And if you're interested in learning more about Foundation Beyond Belief, I'm going to give the website. It's www.foundationbeyondbelief.org.
Beautiful. Thanks a lot, Noelle.
Thank you.